In 1949, the leaders of 12 countries, including President Truman, came together in this very room and created the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the single greatest, most effective defensive alliance in the history of the world.
I didn't even know what the hell NATO was too much before, but it didn't take me long to figure it out, like about 2 minutes.
And the American people understand what would happen if there was no NATO. Another war in Europe. American troops fighting and dying.
Everybody has a caught a water spot. Where water comes out, you get, they don't have anything for me.
It wasn't inevitable. Again and again at critical moments, we chose unity over disunion.
Sir, Chris Christie is not a fat pig. Please remember that. He is not a fat pig.
Progress over retreat.
I said, no, I will not protect you from Russia.
Freedom over tyranny.
When people who love our country protest on January 6th in Washington, they become hostages.
Hope over fear.
Let's look at the Jefferson Memorial. Let's look at the Washington Monument. Let's go and look at some of the beautiful scenes, and you end up getting shot, mugged, raped.
Make no mistake, Ukraine can and will stop Putin.
I had a very good relationship with Putin. We talked about it. It was the apple of his eye.
Biden spoke at the NATO summit in Washington, D.C. after Trump spoke at a campaign rally in Florida. It's a tale of two speeches on this watch list.
We're eating in Nevada, and a waitress came over, beautiful waitress, and I never like talking about physics because she's beautiful inside. Because you never talk about a person's look, ever. You never mention it. The other day, I got very angry. Some man called Chris Christie fat. And I said, sir, and then he said he was a pig. I said, sir, Chris Christie is not a fat pig. Please remember that. He is not a fat pig. Please take it back. And the guy's looking at me like, really? No, we have to defend people. You can't call people fat. So I said about 9 times, he is not a fat pig.
Chris Christie must have struck a nerve when he finally decided to stop following behind Trump, kissing his ass for a shot at power, because Trump can't seem to get him off his mind even months after he dropped out. In fact, being an asshole has become a staple part of his stump speech.
So I was in New Hampshire, and he was fighting. You know, he's like totally unhinged. It's called Trump derangement syndrome. I would say he was a major case of Trump derangement syndrome. But he was in there, and somebody from the front row said, sir, he's a fat pig. And I said, but nobody heard. The person was a nice person, but said very, you know, I said, you cannot call Chris Christie a fat pig. You cannot do that. Please, sir, if you call him a fat pig once more, I'm going to have you leave the arena. And the guy didn't know what was happening. I said, don't worry about it. I'm only kidding. Yeah.
So this consistent move to tell a variation of a story about someone calling Christie a fat pig at rallies isn't just to exact some petty revenge for truth being told about him. This is some weird grooming exercise to condition these minions to laugh at and accept any random middle school bullying tactic that he comes up with. If people there didn't find it appealing, they'll have to slowly act like they do if they don't want their fellow MAGA folk to look at them like they're in opposition to the leader, who's the only important person there.
You know, it's only 103 degrees out here. So, you know, they built all these, they call them, sir, we have many water spots. I said, what about one for me? Do I have one? I don't have one, Marco. They gave water spots. Everybody has a call it a water spot. Where water comes out, you get, they don't have anything for me. I'm being drenched up here.
The rich guy with an entire campaign team behind him can't get any damn water, while you plebes get water spots all over the place. He told them this, and they just put their heads down and accepted it, even though they sat in the Florida heat for around 4 hours waiting to go in and be shamed for it. You know, I'm beginning to think that these rallies double as cruel loyalty tests to make sure the supporters know that they don't deserve anything, that they're only there to exalt the holy name of Donald Trump, and the little that they do get is a bonus. Remember, he let that slip at his last triple-digit rally in the Nevada desert, right?
And now, by the way, it's 110, but it doesn't feel it to me, right? So we'll stay out here for a little while. If anybody gets tired, you'll let me know. And if anybody goes down, if you start going down, we have people, they'll pick you up right away. They'll throw water. You know, they were so worried. Everybody was so worried yesterday about you. And they never mentioned me. I'm up here sweating like a dog. Secret Service said, we have to make sure everyone's safe. I said, what about me? Oh, we never thought of it. They don't think about me. I'm working my ass off. Isn't that breeze nice? Do you feel the breeze? Because I don't want anybody going on me. We need every voter. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care. See, now the press will take that and they'll say he said a horrible thing.
It's always about how he should be treated better than his dumbass supporters. You just watch these folks get abused by this guy in city after city while he fakes concern about random things to keep them focused on really anything he wants them to complain about, except for him.
We will institute the powerful death penalty for drug dealers, where each dealer is responsible for the death during their lives of 500 people or more. Mothers will never again be forced to watch their children overdosing and hospitaling. And we will never allow mothers to watch their child hopelessly dying in their arms, screaming, what can I do? What can I do? Help me, God. What can I do? We are a nation whose once revered airports are a dirty, crowded mess. You sit and wait for hours and then are notified that the plane won't leave, that they have no idea when they will, where ticket prices have tripled. They don't have the pilots to fly the planes. They don't see qualified air traffic controllers, and they just don't know what the hell they're doing.
That was all read from the teleprompter. So this weird reenactment of a mother holding her ODing kid in her arms as they die, being parlayed into complaints about late flights and layovers at airports was planned. And what the hell is up with that weird music?
But now we are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation.
For real, this is some weird cultist type of. He didn't freeze up like Biden did at the debate. He bastardized this version of a church service, and it seems like it's part of some plan to make them feel like they're following the Messiah to the promised land. It's another part of this weird stump speech.
Together they help make America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world. But now, we are a nation in decline.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to skip by that long-ass pause again. Y'all are just gonna have to trust me that he waited another 30 seconds to speak again. Yeah, but real quick, last thing. He's finally caught on that his reoccurring Hannibal Lecter story sounds crazy, so he added some context to quell the rambling accusations. But it did really make it much better.
Did anyone ever see the lovely movie Silence of the Lambs? Did you see it? Did you ever hear of Hannibal Lecter? He was a lovely man. He would love to have you for dinner. He will take you. You had many people for dinner. Well, we have a lot of people coming in. They always say, oh, that's terrible, that Trump would say. He is rambling about Hannibal Lecter. No, I'm not rambling. We are allowing people from insane asylums and mental institutions into our country by the tens of thousands. And they're closing them down in other countries. You know the cost savings and all of the savings?